就你一个人吗？
啊，
哇，
哦哟，真的是。
都是寂寞的很。
那你就平时啥时候出去一趟？
这来8个月3月份来一下，这到10月底，
然后就是这8个月了。
一直在这哦。
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back. Now it's 11 a.m. Beijing time and 9 a.m. Xinjiang time. And yesterday I just finished my tour to Taklamakan, this amazing desert village. And I think that 100 kilometers off-road desert ride is some of the coolest experience I've ever had. Today my trip is again about desert, today and tomorrow, and I'll be taking China's first highway through the desert. Taklamakan Desert is the world's second largest shifting sand desert. It's roughly the size of Germany, and it's very difficult to build a highway through a shifting sand desert because the road can easily get buried by the sand. The Taklamakan is a vast shifting desert, stretches 1,000 kilometers from east to west, and nearly 450 kilometers from north to south. In the past, traveling north to south required a long detour, taking 2 days. Now, however, there are highways, and more than one. The first highway completed in 1995 runs over 500 kilometers from Luntai to Minfeng. The second came in 2007, connects Aro to Hotan. The third, from Aro to Qianmo County, intersects the first highway at Tazhong Xinjiang. And the fourth highway, opened just a few years ago, runs from Qianmo to Yili. These highways crossing the desert have significantly shortened travel distances between cities around the desert. I want to travel part of the desert highway, firstly to Tazhong and then back south to Qianmo. As we stayed in Yutian the day before, we firstly continued going east. If the desert highway are modern engineering marvels, the ancient roads circling the desert were the wonder of their time, the Silk Road. Silk Road is an ancient network of trading routes connecting east and west, and also a route of cultural exchanges. It began during the Han Dynasty when there were 36 small kingdoms around the Taklamakan Desert, and during Western Han Dynasty, Buddhism was firstly introduced from India. Yutian, by then was known as the kingdom of Yumi, was the early center for the spread of Buddhism. So this morning I'm here to see a Buddhist temple. There are many Buddhist temples in southern Xinjiang. In Han Dynasty, there is a so-called 西域36国, so 36 kingdoms in the western region, and all those kingdoms were once a Buddhist kingdom. But in southern Xinjiang, the relics are relatively much smaller. Maybe they were destroyed by the sandstone. So this is Damago 佛教遗址公园, which is pretty small, and I haven't seen any tourists so far.
你是哪儿来的？
安徽。
啊，这个地址写写吧，
写。2024。10月。So that is Tata, a very typical Buddhist statue made of clay, which is very, very typical in Tibet. Wow. I can't believe those are from the 6th century.
这个小佛是全中国、全世界最小的古代佛寺遗址。这个唯一民间是个家庭供奉佛寺。
哦，这是家庭供奉的。
释迦佛堂。
哦，释迦佛堂。
这个古代和田，这个佛就是给形成这个区，古代的时候，这个家家户户都有小佛寺，每家都有小佛寺。哦。那个唐玄奘在《大唐这个西游记》用8个字描述了这个当时的古和田，佛塔、林立、僧人、云集。 还有那个魏晋时期的僧人朱士生在洛阳这个迦南记记载了公元的400年，在和田地区的小佛寺不计其数。这个佛教的这个我们这个和田这个佛教的这个记录年代大约公元前1世纪。
公元前1世纪。公元前1世纪。
公元前1世纪开始这个到10世纪末。
汉的
1000多年都是一个
都是佛教很兴盛。
都是佛教，那为什么后面就信伊斯兰了？
后面又是
宗教演变把那喀拉哈王朝这个伊斯兰教徒推广和田地区。
对。
喀拉哈王朝的伊斯兰教的这个把这个伊斯兰教推广和田地区发动了。
佛教就
就是发动这个灭佛运动。
对，灭佛运动，对。
Later, I found that person introducing the site to us was actually the curator. He said that beneath the wide grass surrounding the temple were all Buddhist relics, but due to insufficient preservation technology, they had not been excavated. I wonder if melons were sold along the ancient Silk Road, but Xinjiang's melons are absolutely delicious. Although much of the land here is saline alkaline, it's surprisingly suitable for growing melons. On the roadside, there are plenty of melon fields. When we passed by Bandier village, we saw a big melon market.
Wow.
这行。好吃，很甜。
好吃。
这个就是安第尔甜瓜吗？
多少钱的？
多少钱？
这个可以，这个多少钱
？15，行。可以微信吗？
微信。
你上云南？
我甘肃的嘛，兰州的嘛。
甘肃的，那就半个老师。
就是这个地方春天，风特大，4、5月份，风沙，
呼呼的，
那直接像现在你看刮不起来土，
对，
像春天那时候，直
接
你看不见
的是吧？
能见度就
能见度极低，
就是沙尘暴。At another melon field, the farmer told us they are growing dagua, a type of watermelon for its seeds. They will crush the melons, take the seeds, and leave the flesh as fertilizer. When I asked if the melons were edible, he opened one for us to taste.
这个就是养胃的。
养胃的，真养胃吗？假养胃吗？
这真的。
味道怎么说？有点绵软的那种感觉。
放到冬天吃也挺好的。
这个
这个就养。
有点像西瓜皮的味道，软软的西瓜皮的味。
我不抽烟，我要抽烟我就早给你打烟了。
谢谢。
不抽烟就是好人。
完了吧？和田食堂，民丰县旗舰店。对的是。养老猪餐点。咱俩一起够了，咱俩一起岁数。这边。
一起是够这个年龄吗？
对。
养老猪餐点。
Before hitting the road, we went to the first ranking restaurant in Minfengxian. It's called 和田食堂. We got one 干煸豆角, so stir-fried string beans. And this one is 牛肉粉条, beef with glass noodle and some cabbage. 这么多
一份7个，
一份10个。天哪！
叫什么？油塔子。
油塔子，它这看，你看它这是面是皮是这样的，它面皮可以。一层一层撕开的，对，是这样的，油塔子。
哇！
微信收款70元。
走吧。谢谢。和田食堂，可好吃了，谢谢你们。
好，那走啊。新疆的菜分量都不少。你们出去点菜，反正你们自己注意一点。
所以我们就点了2个呀。
对，我觉得点1个就够了。
行，好。
谢谢啊。
安全第一啊。
拜拜。 Driving along the road, I saw shiny golden poplar trees. They are the only tall trees that thrive in the desert. The towering Kunlun Mountains afar mark the edge of Qinghai Tibet Plateau, while the altitude rises to over 5,000 meters. That's also where the water comes from. Compared to ancient times, the Silk Road is now much easier to travel. Highways and railways cut through the desert, connecting cities in the oasis. It's not easy to build the roads in the desert. Most railways are built on bridges, and highways are protected by the grass screeds. So this is the secret to building a highway in the desert. Look at this. There are many places where you can see this. Those are the dried reef. It's about 1.5 meter long, and that's what they use to create the grid, which is here, which is about 1 meter long and 1 meter wide. All the straws are planted deeply into the sand, and it's really hard to pull them out. And those grids stabilize all the sand along the highway. So it's a huge project. Just imagine there are over thousands of kilometers of highways through the desert, and every inch of them is protected by the grid like this. And at the edge of the grass grid, that's the fence. Sometimes it's 1 layer, sometimes it's 2 layers. That's the final protection. And once the sand is stabilized, sometimes the plant can also grow. That's a sand wave. I love this feeling of vastness. If you ever want to walk on the sand for a long distance, then you need to take off all your shoes and socks. In the presence of nature's vastness, I feel humans' fleeting existence is like a grain of sand, slipping through our fingers, swept away by the wind, and eventually merges into the boundless desert's eternity. From Mingfeng, we headed north and drove onto Mingfeng Luntai Desert Highway, the longest highway in the world built over moving sand dunes, with the desert section stretches for 466 kilometers. After driving for 2 hours, we are deep into the heart of the desert, yet the shrubs continued to line up the roads. Every few kilometers, there is a small blue house with a red roof. I'd heard before that there are stations along its entire length. In each house, there is a person who is responsible for irrigating the shrubs. I can't imagine life here, and when we saw a guy standing next to the road, we stopped.
我是陕西的。
对，我们过来玩。
啊，老乡啊。
啊，我渭南的。
渭南的。
啊，渭南。
都是渭南的不？
哦，你也是渭南，渭南哪？
扶贫的。河水不？
我是华阳的。就你一个人吗？
啊。
哇。
哦，真的是。
这是寂寞的很。
寂寞的。
这是来旅游的，和我们聊聊天。
哦。那你这
7、8月人多，这得是冷人少。
那你这平时啥时候出去一趟？
这来8个月3月份来一下，这到10月底就快了，就还10来天了。
哦，然后就回去了。
票已经都买好了，2号买的2号飞机票。
嗯，然后就是这8个月了。
一直在这哦。
那你每天干啥呢？
负责开泵，水泵。
嗯。
这边灌2公里，一个方法，这边灌2公里。
刚才那个人就是那样的。
那是不是还要走着沿着走着看看？
那你为啥不搞个电动车或者摩托车？
安全，大车特别速度快。
所以现在都只能走，只能走。
哦。
刚才路上看着有个女的，然后走的往那头走的，我说这人干啥嘞？
这检查管道倒阀。
他这种的是啥树呀？
这说是，这是适应盐碱水。它这地下水都是盐碱水，我们吃的水是他们给我
送的
拉过来的啊。
那你这吃饭咋办？
自己做嘛，他给你发的锅灶嘛。
你要是走了10月份走了咋办呀？
冬天就不用浇了
啊。
冬天
灌到洞里，洞里也浇不成。在冬天天凉，也不需要那些水。这负离子的温度高，水分蒸发。
Wow, that's your station. 你老伴是在前面那个？
前面83，这是82。
哦，那吃饭他过来不？
吃饭不过来。
哦。
我自己给自己做，我早晨我晚上过去。
哦，晚上过去跟他一起。
哦，我把泵停了以后，晚上7点多过去，
跟他一起。
早晨起来6点多跟人家做完饭，早晨一吃。
对。
这还过中午我这么就做的一吃。
这边的其他的水井房的人你都认识不？
这几个房能认识，这家分了3个队。
哦，3个队。
分了3个队，3个人承包的。
哦，3个人承包的。
我直接从108到76，这基本上都是他陕西，因为他陕西人在玩搞管理出来。
哦，陕西的。
给职业队长搞管理的。
哦，搞管理的。
把他那边叫过来的。
哦。
那边呢都是四川的、河南的。
哦，四川、河南、陕西的。
哦。
哎，那这边你们洗热水澡怎么办？热水澡。
那就是弄的脸盆身上擦个。
澡都洗不成。
澡洗。
那为啥不放个热水？放热水器也不行呀。
那不行。
没有自己上费。
那盐水也洗了人不好。这吃的水还不能胡糟蹋。
他多久
？20天送一次。
20天再送这么一套。
你看连续得做
饭。那能够吗？20天光吃了喝了都不够吧？
那可以吃着喝够。
吃喝够。但是洗澡就不够了。
你再洗澡都。
3月份到10月底8个月。然后这8个月就1天假都没有。
So this is their small room. There are 2 beds, a TV, air conditioning, a fridge. This is their living room, kitchen, everything together, and that's their water. It's delivered only every 20 days. There is no luxury to take a shower because water is the scarcity. Although their living conditions are simple, their daily work isn't too demanding. All the workers here are couples, as it would be far too lonely for just one person. Each house has a TV, but some CCTV channels couldn't be accessed. We fiddled with it for a while, but couldn't fix it. On this highway, there are altogether 108 stations like this, which take care of all the greeneries along the highway. Yeah, that's the size of it. Every house looks exactly the same. Every station looks exactly the same. That's the water pump. That's the pipe that irrigate all the trees. That's where all the electricity comes from, the solar panel. Evening is their time to reunite, so we offered to drive him to his wife's little house, cause it's too late and it's 4 kilometers away.
它隔几公里啊
？4公里。
4公里。
基本上是4公里，跑也就是100-200米。
哦，那你要去找你老板，就走4公里过去吗？
哇，得1个小时。
得1个小时，那明天早上还走1个小时。哎呀，真的是，你跟你老板说，要不
8里路了嘛？
你跟你老板说，要不以后1个月见一回吧？你这一走，一天天骑的吗？
这我老板这是基本上天天骑，有时啥
一天走8公里。哎呀，我这，你上班还得走2公里。
另外，
你一天得走10公里。
关键去班了不牵这啥，那个过来吧。但是关键吧。
His wife happened to be out exercising, so after dropping him off, we were about to leave. Yet he wanted to keep us for dinner.
So that's his wife's dorm. It's the same, exactly the same.
不用下，
没事，咱们把你送到了就可以了。
送到就行，那我就准备走。
对，我们就
准备走。不用，我不吃，我多好，我到他不，我吃烤肉去，我还要吃你挂面，我疯了吧我。是不是？哎，你还好，你的精神面貌非常好。
In my opinion, this desert highway is really a miracle, and the last protection for the highway and the final secret for the highway is that tiny blue house. In every little house there is a lonely but very lovely soul that protects the road. By the time we arrived at Tazhong, it was already evening, but every accommodation was fully booked. Eventually we found a container to stay in, and luckily we had camping gears and managed to get through the night. Yesterday when we reached Tazhong, we actually didn't manage to find a place because everything is fully booked. So eventually we found this place, a camping place. We paid 50 yuan so that we can camping. There is also hot water, so it wasn't too bad. The toilet, and there is the bathroom. So that mailbox is where we stayed yesterday. I didn't quite understand because Tazhong isn't so touristic. And then I talked with the hotel manager and she told me that this is the only stopover in the middle of the desert. It's also the crossing point of 2 desert highway. And now it's also the high season for Huyanglin visit. And that's why there are only about 200 beds in the whole town. But there are more tourists. 中国沙漠第一镇塔中镇。Why is there a town in the middle of the desert? Because this place produces oil. Everyone passing by sees these 2 slogans: conquering the Sea of Death on one side and I dedicate my oil to the motherland on the other. Tazhong is tiny but has basic shops and pharmacies. People here come from all over the country. And also, the variety of services this town offers goes far beyond my expectation. There is a pharmacy, and there are 2 foot baths, there is even a KTV, and also there are restaurants of different cuisines. 老板，这鸭架咋卖呀？4块钱一个。帮我拿几个呗？行。帮我拿，我想想，拿5个吧。20块钱。嗯。哎呀，来了。我要买点鸭脖。老板，你哪儿的人呀？哈尔滨。哇，这边是不是哪儿的人都有呀？
对，哪儿都有。
还有这个小镇就是还有哪儿的人呢？哪个省？
湖南的、四川的、甘肃的。
嗯。哇，那真的是。
3个、4个、
5个，对。
20块钱，掰不掰？
掰了吧。
好。来，扫这个。好。 你们是哪儿的？
安徽的。
安徽的。
对，过来看看。
安徽离这好像不算太远，是不是？
哦，还是有点远的。
还是有点远。
浙江那边。啊。对，浙江。这镇上有多少人呀？
还行，这两天人还上来了。
哦，那你要在一年在这儿待多长时间呢？几个月？
过年回去。
过年回去。
有时候过年还不回去。
哦，那还挺忙的呀。
那不忙，那来回这路费太贵，净坐飞机呀。
啊，对。
回家再花点儿，这一年白搭了。
嗯，冬天这边应该很冷吧？
还行吧，不是那么太冷。年轻人吧，扛得了。这像我这岁数，50、60岁的，50、60岁的，扛冻。
那你到这边多长时间了？
好几年了。
哦。哎呀，谢谢。
好嘞，来几牙盒。
On our way out, we came across a car stuck in the sand.
So we saw one car got stuck in the sand. We decided to stop and give them a hand.
看见有个狗狗没？狗狗我没逮，我这个后面不是啥，就是拖车的。
啊，你这这，哎啊，
好，
你有单，你没动啊？好了，OK 了，谢谢。
这是重庆的特产。
重庆的特产，看一下。
行，这是我上海的特产，已经碎了。
好的，谢谢你们，
谢谢你们了，真的感谢。
太感谢了。
We arrived in Qianmo County not too late and continued to Ruoqiang. The southern desert route is famous for its jujubes, and it's currently the harvest season. While passing through the jujube orchids, Mr. Dong bought a big bag of it, saying he wanted to take them back home for his family.
This is the most famous product in Ruoqiang Hongzao. Look, it's all dried on the trees, and then the local people are shaking it off the tree.
They look dusty, but don't worry, they will be cleaned before sold to the market. According to my original plan, my trip should have ended in Ruoqiang, and now I should go to the airport and go back home and edit my videos. But since I am already here, there is a big temptation, and that is the National Highway G315. It's a highway that very few people have been to, and it goes across China's some of the most stunning landscape, yet some of China's least inhabited region. And after a whole day struggle, finally I decided to continue traveling east and go across Xinjiang Province. So now I plan to discuss with my driver. I hope he can take my order. And if he take my order, tomorrow I am going to Mangyashi in Qinghai. And finally, I hope you enjoy my today's video. And thanks for watching, and bye bye.